Why is that castle? Jesus.
Everyone?
Okay, Aaron, right? Aaron?
This is Aaron.
Aaron. Whoa! But then there's going to be a question of, do we keep him alive? After everything that's happened. He was watching us, clearly. Now, do I blame him for not engaging with us straight away? Not really. If I was in his position, and if he is genuine, and if he wants to try and talk to the leader, if he wants to get into the group, if he wants to whatever, trying to talk to some of us isolated is probably the smart move, right? Because he sort of puts Rick in this dilemma now, where Rick's probably going to be like, after everything that's happened, do we keep him alive again? We don't know, like, after what happened with Tyrese and keeping the other guy alive, and all these decisions build up. My point is, as he puts Rick in a situation now where Rick kind of has to consider everyone else's thought, and I'm not saying he wouldn't, it just sort of guarantees that.
You said he had a weapon?
And of course he's going to have a gun.
There's something you need.
He has a camp nearby. He wants us to audition for membership.
What?
Wish there was another word.
What, does everyone have to audition?
My job is to convince you all to follow me back home.
Bro, that sounds so sketchy, but I've got this odd feeling it's genuine.
Go either.
I get a good vibe. Like, obviously last episode you sort of getting the first character again, and I think it's sort of, especially after getting the last person, right, how it all went wrong with Tyrese, and like you sort of start thinking to yourself, how many times does leaving someone alive have to have negative consequences? I feel like that just plays at that, like you sort of have to assume people are bad, right? I feel like you do that anyway. You still should assume, you shouldn't assume people are good, let's put it that way. And once again, I'll bring this up, just because this guy seems genuine doesn't mean his group is, doesn't mean his whole group is, doesn't mean we'll have issues with the whole group. And not just that, if it's a matter of auditioning, and it's a matter of every one of us auditioning, what are the odds we all get accepted? I'm not saying, I think all of our characters are great, right? I love all our characters. But what are the odds that there are some of us that they just don't deem suitable? If we look back to Rick's questions, the questions he used to ask people to ensure that it was okay for them to join the group, it's kind of like that.
There's no way I could convince you to come with me just by talking about our community. That's why I brought those. That's the first picture I wanted to show you. Because nothing I say about our community will matter unless you know you'll be safe.
Oh, the walls.
Our community was first constructed.
Oh! Oh, I skipped the intro. Sorry, guys. So Rex just knocked the guy out.
So we're clear. That look wasn't a let's attack that man look. It was a he seems like an okay guy to me look.
We gotta secure him. Dump his pack. Let's see what this guy really is.
What?
We need eyes in every
See,
direction.
already
They're coming for us.
Wow.
If he had wanted to hurt us, he could have.
Anybody see anything?
Just a lot of places to hide.
You see, this is what happens, man. This is...
What'd you find?
This is exactly what happens. Flare gun.
I've seen a gun like that before.
It's just to protect himself, man. I've got the... I know. He's turned up and it feels like a shock and it feels like their group's going to come and hammer down on us, but I don't agree that that was the case. I just don't think it would have been.
See him up.
I think it's better.
It's okay.
See the difference in viewpoints on this? Of course it's going to be different, because who's been making the group decisions? And who's been suffering the consequences? Who's been told, holding that weight? Rick. I don't see anything wrong yet. He's come here, he's sort of found us, he's watched us for a bit. I don't see any issue with that, in the sense that he's just making sure that we're the right kind of candidates. That sounds a little bit weird, but he's got, I think that's a flare gun to alert people if he's in trouble. I get that. Like, why wouldn't you have that if you could? He's got a gun, of course he's going to have a gun. We've got walkers everywhere, you know? Yeah, I'm not the one carrying the weight, but I'm on the side of really of Maggie and Michonne. I do believe we're not in a position right now to... I know it's silly, because we could just end up in another position like the termites. We could end up in another cage. Who knows? We could be in another terminus, and I get that. But are we in a position to let this opportunity go by? Yes, it's a gamble, but... Crap, I can't believe that I'm saying that. If we weren't borderline dead right now, and we didn't have... Say we had our own spot and we were surviving, we had a sustainable way... of having food and medicine, blah, blah, blah. We had all these things. I would say we shouldn't go.
You have a flare gun. You have it to signal your people. How many of them are there?
Flare gun. It might just mean his camp's not far away, right?
Does it matter?
Yes.
Does it matter how many people I tell you are out there? I'm pretty sure no matter what number I say. 32, 444, 0.
Exactly.
It's hard to trust anyone who smiles after getting punched in the face.
How about a guy who leaves bottles of water for you in the road?
So it was him. He's not wrong. He really isn't wrong. It's just a matter of, can we trust him? Can Rick trust him? That's the question, you know? If Rick doesn't, does someone veto that? What?
What would it take to convince you that this is for real?
Is there even anything after what we've been through? That's the thing, I can't even...
What if I drove you to the community? All of you. There's enough room for all of us.
And you're parked just a couple miles away, right?
Mm-hmm.
East on Ridge Road, just after you hit Route 16. We wanted to get them closer, but then the storm came, blocked the road. We couldn't clear it.
Yeah, you've really thought this through.
How could he predict that? I don't...
If I wanted to ambush you, I'd do it here. You can trust me.
But that's the thing, is that the ultimate, like, I could have done this then so you can trust me. That could all be some big elaborate...
I'll check out the cars.
There aren't any cars.
There's only one way to find out.
We don't need to find out.
We do.
Exactly.
Your way's dangerous. Mine isn't.
Passing up someplace where we can live? Where Judith can live?
Exactly, man. It's got to be
That's pretty
something you
dangerous.
consider.
We need to find out what this is.
Come on, Michonne.
And handle ourselves. So that's what we're gonna do.
Oh,
Then I will too.
bro, Rick is so just like... But what can you
Abraham.
Yeah,
do? Oh,
I'll walk with him.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Does that see that, Abraham, you're up? Oh. So now we've got this situation where people feel confident enough that we can oppose Rick's view on something, which is fair enough. And I think that all comes down to trusting your group and having the ability to not... I don't know, like, because I feel like Rick, of course he worries. He worries a lot after how many people we've lost, but in trusting the wrong people, you know, so it gives me goosebumps just, I love how this group functions. Like, it functions as like a democracy, like everyone has a say, and it's not just one person says that's what goes, because that's eventually that person's going to make a wrong decision, right?
If the 5 of them aren't back in an hour, I'll put a knife in the base of your skull.
Whoa!
After everything we've done, why would he want us to join his group?
People like us saved a priest. Saved a girl who rolled up to the prison with the governor. Saved a crazy lady with the sword.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's still who we are, I still believe that. But she's spot on. What did we do in the past?
You did see the jar of applesauce in my bag, right? This isn't a trick.
Ideally, he wouldn't want Rick dead right now either, eh? Homemade applesauce. God almighty, imagine him to trust that. Get him to eat it first.
You think I'm trying to poison your baby daughter?
Just eat it.
Maybe she gets sick. Maybe you're the only one that can help her, not just Luke.
I'm the only one who can help her because I have applesauce. And we all win.
Just try it then, you...
I hate applesauce. My mom used to make me eat foods I didn't like to make me more manly.
Just eat it. I was gonna say, it's not that bad. Come on, man.
We can find a place for you to live where, even when she cries, no one, nothing can hear it outside the walls.
The walls. It sounds so... Yeah. Attack
You
on
got 43
Titan-esque.
minutes.
He was telling the truth.
Yeah, see? Oh my god, an RV. Oh, bring me... Ugh. It's reminding me of Dale, man. I've got this weird feeling like some of us aren't going to be accepted. And then it's going to be a matter of like, do some people stay? Do we all just reject the offer and go? Like...
Oh, it has been a while.
I think I saw Rex eat 3 cans one night.
Wait, did they just take all the food and bring it back?
This is ours now.
There's more than enough.
Whether or not we go to your camp.
What do you mean? Why wouldn't we go?
Even
If he were
Carl.
lying, or if he wanted to hurt us, and he doesn't.
Wow.
We need this.
We're gonna get the majority, isn't it?
So we're going. All of us. Somebody say something if they feel differently.
Rick feels differently.
I don't know, man. This barn smells like horse shit. Yeah. We're going.
Like, I'm so happy that he's putting that
So
trust
where are we going?
in Michonne and other people, but I get this odd feeling like people are just losing faith in him. Is that me jumping the gun? The thing is, and I don't particularly have too big an issue with, say, people not, say, following Rick for his views. If it comes to a point where Rick's views aren't what suit the group, or if his trauma is too much for him to be able to successfully lead us in a way, I'm not saying that that's now, but if it gets to a point like that, I don't have an issue with Rick taking that step back like he did when he became Farmer Rick. I don't, because I think that's genuinely what's better for him. But we know for a fact that there are times when we need Rick. We know it because it's been shown so many times over. It's good. I'm happy that we're getting this. It's a weird, odd, happy feeling, but then it's also, there's a little tinge of worry. But I think I think it's the right decision. We have got a situation right now which we cannot pass up.
Go north on Road 16.
And then?
It is good that we feel...
I'll tell you when we get there.
I can understand that as well. Like,
We'll take 23 north.
he needs to come...
He'll give us directions from there.
That's... I don't know how else to say it. That's a bad idea. We've cleared 16. It'll be faster.
We're doing this at night?
Look, I know it's dangerous.
No one is going to hurt you.
But we
You're
don't...
trying to protect your group, but you're putting them in danger.
But he doesn't know
Tell me
though,
where
so
the
it's...
camp is. We'll leave right now.
He
It's gonna be a
refuses
long
to
night.
tell them, so it...
Eat.
I genuinely understand why he's hesitant though. I do. He's protecting himself and his group. Same as us. So yes, Rick may be putting us in more danger, but for all he knows, he might not be. He might be protecting us.
When you first came up on the walls outside Woodbury, what did you hear?
Nothing.
Exactly. Nothing, nothing, nothing.
We'll be outside his camp's walls. And without seeing inside, I'm gonna have to decide whether to bring my family in.
Based on what you hear. Holy
He asked me before
shit.
what it would take for me to believe it was real. I'm not sure if anything could convince me to go in there.